This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM. We're there with you on next Wednesday night. Special night, Emancipation Day, them call it. The day when we, after fighting for years and years and years, them decide, say, boy, slavery not so profitable again. And them a lose too much. And them cane peace and them cotton plantation. So them decide, say, to abolish the slave trade. It's the slave trade them abolish, not slavery. Cutting Edge, Emancipation Day, you know, say, we're going to give some of them music here until maybe 12 o'clock or early, and then we will start, you know, we love the vintage party upon the holiday. Yeah, we love the vintage style party upon the holiday, so I want you to stick around for the vintage style party. But, you know, we hear a whole heap of people, especially the female them, I blame the woman them who bleach them face. I said, them a try look white. I really want to ask the people them who are, cause the people them who are blame, who are bleach them face, so them want to look white. When them take out the kink out of them ear and make it look white, not creaming it white, or dyeing it white, but take out the kink out of your ear and make it straight. Isn't that trying to look like white people? Because black people here is kinky, is curly. White people here is straight. And we see most of the women them straighten them here to the point where them even wear wig was straight. But them same woman there a ball out about how the woman them a bleach and them know how them look white. Well, I have news for you. You are trying to look white too. Because you conscious of the bleaching as white. You don't see the kinky hair, get rid of your kinky hair, get rid of your natural hair as trying to be white. Well, you are trying to be white. You're trying to make your ear look like what it is not. White ear, white people ear, you try to make it, your ear look like white people ear. When you get out the kink them out of your ear, and then turn around and accuse people about them and bleach them skin to look white. You has look white for a long time, long before bleaching, you look white. When you put on certain things, as a matter of fact, I see some people on television and read news, some women are try to read news, and the person who make them up, as a matter of fact, I call that make down, is literally trying to make them look white on the TV are not so dark. And you know, these people who do these makeup artists and these cameramen, they were not trained how to put black people on camera to make it look like it's black people. Them trained to make everybody nearer to white. That is why when them take the light from the camera, them put up a white paper in front of it instead of a brown paper. Because the white paper is nearer to what them want the person on the television to look like. White or European looking person, even though black them is. And then when you look on these young ladies' ear on the TV, or anywhere you see them now, them want to tell you, say, boy, look how the people, them not love them complexion, them not love them skin, them a try bleach to look like white people. Well, when I try to take out the kink out down here to look like white people, which part of the things that them straight here they come from? Them straight here they come from straight out of television. Come straight out of magazine, where Europeans' perspective of white and beauty is sunk in your head. Psychological brainwashing. You don't even understand that. So next time when you start to pick next time when you want to pick the bleach out of somebody's face, remember, say you are take the kink out of your ear. It's rough to see how much millions of people died hundreds of years ago. for the liberation of our souls and our heart and our mind and our physicalness. Just to come here now, to come see where I go on here, so now, what a disrespect to the ancestors, man. What a disrespect. Yes, this is the Cutting Edge and IRFM there with you. So we'll talk about the kink versus the bleaching. The kink versus the bleaching. Maybe a lot of you never hear black people here referred to as kink. Kinky ear. Nappy. Curly. You know, like when the man say, your ear curly. Your mother try get the kink out of your ear. When we used to go to school, and my mother a comb my ear. She take this plastic comb and never make for kinky ear and dig in your head, and when the comb teeth itch in one of the curl, the kink them, and you ball out, she lick in her head and say, boy, you're nasty, shut your mouth. Not realizing say she had damage up your head with the whole heap of combing to try get out the kinking. And then we see them move from comb, they move to hot comb, where black women put hot comb in them head with some kind of grease and steam out them head, them ear, to make it straight. And then we move on from that to other modern day things and all, where people call them ear, them say them straighten them ear. What is straightening ear more than your brainwashed mentality is telling you subliminally that your ear, as it is presented by you, by nature, is not acceptable. Your kinky ear, your nappy ear is not acceptable. So something's inside of you telling you, say, you must get rid of that kink by any means necessary, even for cause your head for burn up, cream up, whip up, tip up, lip up, keep up. Get rid of it by any means necessary. So they create and engineer all sorts of things for the black woman to get rid of her natural ear. And some of them now start to put all sort of ear in them head now and claim, say, I feed them ear. So when them buy the ears from people who never want them ear, or people who dead from India or Brazil and sometimes China, black people proud of that. Them proud to have somebody else's ear in them head. Proud. So that is where black people there. Black people, after so much hundreds of years of so-called emancipation, we still get caught in the abyss of ignorance. And we are still in that slavery mentality. So here we just play one of my poems them from them time. We have to remind you. We have to remind you. So make sure so when you throw a stone, it's not glass house you live in. And if me was a bleacher and a woman with her bun up head come a class me, and I tell her some what's it about she. Yeah. Because in relationship to identification and how we identify ourselves with our Africanness, I don't see no difference between the bleacher and the bun-up ear person. No difference. No difference between the bun-up ear and the bleacher. It's the two of them trying to look like someone who them is not. And they are trying to look like their slave masters, slave owners from them time there even unto this time, the slavery is still in effect. And we're there to remind you. We're reminding about the purpose of today. You know that we're there. Do you remember when we say you wasn't there physically, but the residues of that time has followed us to this time, to the point where we can't even see ourselves. Not even when we look in our mirror, we see it.
Such as you, sir, I imagine, Mr. Wentworth Day, and you were, in fact, an advisor to the Egyptian government and the Sudan, so you know what you're talking about.
Well, I've been there and seen them in their own home surroundings. And as a parliamentary candidate, I've been into a good many working-class houses.
Over here?
Where there have been, oh yes, indeed, where there have been many mixed marriages, and I've seen the children. And my view is this, that no first-class nation can afford to produce a race of mongrels. And that is what we're doing. Sooner or later, that's going to come back on the children. Those children are unfair hostages to the future. It's unfair on the children, it's unfair on the nation. It's one of the reasons why France is a third-class nation today. Too much mixed blood. Look at the other angle. The black man, and I refuse this humbug of talking about the colored man, he's black and we're white, has a different set of standards, values, morals and principles. In many cases, their grandfathers were eating each other. Well, the lion doesn't change his spots in all that time. But look at it this way. They come over here, they cause housing troubles, employment troubles. Ask any landlord of working class property. Where they go in, the houses become cesspits of dirt.
Now, this is not inevitable.
Very often. If a black man makes a lot of money, what do you find? Again, a lack of taste. He's flashy. He's very often arrogant.
Well, to go back to mixed marriages, which is the specific subject talking about, are you implying that a half-caste is in any way mentally deficient?
Definitely.
Well, there's nothing to prove this at all.
That unfortunate child is born with an inferiority complex. If it isn't born with it, it grows up with it.
You can't possibly say that it's born with an inferiority complex. That's something that we instill into it later.
We may instill it, and also the pure black people may instill it themselves. Because they have an instinctive contempt, you know, for what they call white trash.
But if conditions were different, there was not the social prejudice, such as you have, and there were not the practical difficulties, then if two people were in love, wouldn't you recommend them to get married?
Love is a very curious thing. It depends on how you define it. I think a lot of these mixed marriages are caused purely by downright sex or sloppy sentimentality.
Have you got a daughter yourself?
I have a daughter who is young, charming, intelligent, with taste and discrimination.
Well, what would you feel if she said that she was going to marry a colored man?
I should strongly advise her against it. I should give her all the practical reasons why not. I should ask her if she wanted to wake up in the morning and see a coffee-colored little imp on the pillow beside her, calling her mummy. If she did marry him, I should be bitterly disappointed.
Well, I couldn't disagree with you more, but at least you do say what you really feel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Was, you know, you came from these primitive, savage people who had no history, and everything you are, we made you.
Strip the African of his knowledge of himself. You can then replace that knowledge with any falsification of consciousness you desire. Once you take from me my knowledge of myself, you can then tell me those lies.
To get someone to actually think that someone else is inferior, you have to raise that type of mentality to a religious level.
Remember, when they attacked Africa, they did not attack Africa physically. They did not attack Africa educationally. They attacked Africa spiritually. Jomo Kenyatta said when the European first came to Africa, the Africans had the land and the white man had the Bible. White man told him close his eyes, get on his knees and pray. Jomo said when the black man opened his eyes, the white man had the land and the black man had the Bible.
It's just been awful how they've did us in religion. And our people tend to think that even those who feel that they know that white Americans have mistreated us, their grandchildren or great-grandchildren still mistreating us in a lot of ways. They still believe, well, but nobody will lie about God, when that's not true. People who are trying to subjugate another people and turn them into slaves, not just physically, but mentally, then they certainly would try to teach them that God looks like me. We thought the only God we had was the one that white people gave us, which was Jesus, okay? And he looked like them. And when we saw them, psychologically, we would transfer that was deity. If it really was unimportant what he looked like, then why didn't he look like some of the majority of the people on earth? Why would he look like the people who are the minority race on the entire earth? We're not the minority.
People always ask me, why do the black church not get rid of the white Jesus and put a blue black Jesus in place with a nappy head? Because black people would stop coming.
In fact, today, if you were to go to Africa and talk to the children who've been Christianized, they will tell you that their ancestors covenanted with devils, and this is why black people are in the condition they are today. So turn to Christianity, and of course you turn to the oppressor's religion, and then you eat the gruel that they give you, and at the bottom it says Jesus saved you. Of course, you're conditioning that person for another 1,000 years.
Christ.
When you talk about the image of Christ, it is important that we no longer ascribe to the European image of Christ. Why? Because the brain is a associating organism. It stores everything as pictures. And because it is associating, if you force feed an African child that Christ is white, because the brain associates, as that child begins to grow, the brain will associate white Christ with white people. And so if white Jesus is God, then white people must also be the gods of humanity. And so guess what? The power in the painting is transferred to the people who resemble that painting. And so it is difficult to pray to a white Jesus and not in some way feel inferior to white people. And that's why when I talk to Christian ministers, I often tell them you have to change these pictures. They say it don't matter. Of course it matters. Why do you think the European went around the world and systematically altered the image of Christ in every major cathedral, every major church, every corner of the globe? Because it is difficult to oppress a people whose image of the God doesn't look like the oppressor. But when God and the oppressor look one in the same, then the people will come to believe that the oppression was ordained by God.
Very profound. Very profound. And we have to understand it in this time here, because emancipation means so much different things. But realize most of the things that refer to us as a people is not taken seriously by our people. We hear the white man talk about the definition of white and black and how we will make him a whole heap of the things that him says true. Give a black man money, give a youth in the street money right now, and you're afraid to see the things that him spend the money upon. That the next day if you come like him never did get no money at all. Look upon where the sisters them buy when them find themselves with money. Them ball about them not have this and them not have that, but them find money to buy the false eyelash, false ear, false fingernail, false all sort of thing. I'm vexed when them pick the ball so them can't let them not have no book for go to school. And them not have no shoes to go to school. Whole heap of black people in Jamaica find themselves in another situation there, where them try to look like, but most of them is really like walking sepulchres, man. It's like a grave. When you look on the outside, it have a whole heap of flowers. People put flowers on it with all sorts of this and that, but inside is a dead body. We're waiting for worms to gobble it up. We're in a serious problem because after so much years, and we claim emancipation. I see a little thing on TV today where them talk about the Emancipation Day, and away make them put it back. Because when P.J. Patterson, when Rex Nettleford, as a man who did listen to the Rastafari community, and when Jalide and all the bridging them for Just Stone and all them man, they did a ball out, say, oh, them going to do that, take the emancipation off of the calendar. And we lobby. But because Rex Nettleford's voice was loud as one of them intellectual from the university, his voice was heard. And then put back Emancipation Day on the calendar. And now I hear them I try to twin it with the 6th of August, I call it Emancipation Day. What kind of foolishness is that? I tell you, we can't come up with some foolishness about Emancipation Days. What Emancipation Day have to do with Independence Day? Nothing. It don't have nothing to do with nothing. With it, them to have no connection at all. One was fought for, and the other one was given. We never fight for our independence. The Queen decides, say, okay, we could give them independence, you know. Because them is like a burden for we, even though we like them still. Because them still do the things them where we don't have to tell them to do it. Them just automatically do it. We're not even in Jamaica again. We are way over here in England. But they do what we want them to do. Because we have subliminally placed something in them brains and genetically modify them. So here we are, after hundreds of years, still going through the pace and the notion that we're free. Of course we're free. We're free to think, wear, look, behave like the slave masters who was here before. We're free to govern the people them. We're free to suffer the people them. We're free to do all of these things in the name of Great Britain, America, France, Germany, Portugal, Spain, and Arabia. All of these countries that are seen fit to walk into our land. Walk into our land, because we never really, it was not our intention, or we never have a concept of people coming into your land from another group of people and enslaving you and take away your land. No. People might have wondered, then how come the African them make that happen to them? Oh, the Tainos, it happened to the Tainos. The Tainos never have a concept of men coming from afar when go kill you and look for gold, chop off your hand, the wrist them if you don't find none, and give you syphilis, give you gonorrhea, give you all sort of disease where you never know about. There was no concept of that amongst the Tainos. And the problem with it is that the Tainos and the Spaniards was not communicating in words. Because the Tainos, them speak their own language, and the Spaniards, them speak their own language. When them teach it in our English history class, it's like the Tainos, they sit down with the Spaniards, the man talk to them about certain things. No talking was going on. Some guys land in a center and juke a flag in the ground and say in the name of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, we know, say this is land, Spanish colony, without taking into consideration that there were people there, just like how them go to America and stick them British flag in it, ignoring the people them, the indigenous people of the country, just like how them go to Australia, cook and them friend them, not recognizing the indigenous people of the country, stick them flag in the land and say it's for them own. We need a perspective. We need a perspective. We need to realize how all of the structures designed here was not designed to liberate our total humanness. We were not designed at this moment to be truly divine human beings. We need to recognize that what we have here in the system is what we call white supremacy. And white supremacy must maintain itself by any means necessary. And if we think that a guy going to come give you something just like so, to elevate your spirituality, your divinity, your economical development, your political development, your sexual advancement, development, your health development. If you think a guy going to come get all of these things in your benefit, you're living in a serious lie. The lie is so deep. It is as deep as telling you, say, somewhere under the ground named hell. And if you go down there, you're going to burn for 1,000 years without your flesh peel off. It is as lie as him telling you, say, when you're dead, there's somewhere in the sky that you're going to go. And everything will be as white as snow. Terrible. Terrible. Black people, after so much years, we claim emancipation. We still a search for that elusive freedom. This is the cutting edge on RFM. So there with you. I go through the paces. Emancipation Day. You notice that when them celebrate Emancipation Day, most of the celebration is the residues of slavery rather than the glory of Africa. Because one of the things them too is that we grew up in a situation where we were taught about Africans in slavery rather than about Africa. We never hear nothing good about Africa, and most of the time we still not hear nothing good about Africa. So we get the impression and the feeling that everything about Africa and Africans is surrounded by a situation that took place 300, 400 years ago. That slavery, that chattel slavery, is the mark of what them use to mark we in history. And a whole heap of way still feel that African have no history more than people run up and down naked and a jump on tree to tree and just uncivilized. But you cannot say you don't know now. Now is a different time. Now is the time when you have computer in front of you, you can press a button and travel all over the world and know cultures, know about economics, know about religion, politics, know about all sort of crookedness and rise to the occasion. So you can't say you don't know again. There was a time when we attacked on the radio and it did sound like stupidness. But we see books, we see clips of what we are saying passing around and round and round the globe. So you can't say you don't know again. And the children them must understand that there's a world out there, not just your little space that you're in. There's a world out there that is relating to your foreparents, your ancestors, that is much, much glorious than what your teacher in school would have you believe and think about your African heritage. Your African heritage is not just kumina, drankuno, and wolipa dancing and singing. Where African heritage gone beyond the boundaries of European philosophy, of Greco-Roman philosophy, of Judaism, of Islam. the science and technology that now keep the world afloat originated in Africa. There was no God that was created in this part of the world. And don't get the thing twisted when we say created neither, because all the concepts of God was created by men. None of them came from the East. Sorry, came from the West, Europe. When we have gods and goddesses, queens and kings, there was not like that in Europe. We gave civilization to the world, and the price that we paid was death and destruction by the savages that came from the north and still now is eating up our flesh. That our mothers have to be crying and sometimes even drink their own tears because of what is taking place. This is the cutting edge.
I would like to tell you a few personal stories about what I like to call the danger of the single story. I thought about this when I left Nigeria to go to university in the United States. I was 19. My American roommate was shocked by me. She asked where I had learned to speak English so well and was confused when I said that Nigeria happened to have English as its official language. She asked if she could listen to what she called my tribal music and was consequently very disappointed when I produced my tape of Mariah Carey. So after I had spent some years in the US as an African, I began to understand my roommate's response to me. If I had not grown up in Nigeria, and if all I knew about Africa were from popular images, I too would think that Africa was a place of beautiful landscapes, beautiful animals, and incomprehensible people fighting senseless wars, dying of poverty and AIDS, unable to speak for themselves, and waiting to be saved by a kind white foreigner. So that is how to create a single story. Show a people as one thing, as only one thing, over and over again, and that is what they become. I recently spoke at a university where a student told me that it was such a shame that Nigerian men were physical abusers like the father character in my novel. I told him that I had just read a novel called American Psycho, and that it was such a shame that young Americans were serial murderers. It would never have occurred to me to think that just because I had read a novel in which a character was a serial killer, that he was somehow representative of all Americans. And now this is not because I'm a better person than that student, but because of America's cultural and economic power, I had many stories of America. I had read Thailand, Updike, and Steinbeck, and Gateskill. I did not have a single story of America. I've always felt that it is impossible to engage properly with a place or a person without engaging with all of the stories of that place and that person. The consequence of the single story is this: it robs people of dignity. It makes our recognition of our equal humanity difficult. It emphasizes how we are different rather than how we are similar. Stories matter. Many stories matter. Stories have been used to dispossess and to malign, but stories can also be used to empower and to humanize. Stories can break the dignity of a people, but stories can also repair that broken dignity.
Yeah, the power of the single story. Very interesting, Sister Ngozi. The power of the single story is that grab way. That is what we're talking about. The single story, where the only thing we know about Africa, our Africans, is that we were brought here as slaves. We never come here as no slave. They make we into slaves. That is the single story. The single story where say Africa no contribute nothing to civilization. And all the things that we're surrounded with right now is because of European ingenuity, where they is the one that take the glory. And we have to seek and search deep in ourselves. And whole heap we don't know. If we check religions all over the world, religions, a lot of them is branches from African divinity and spirituality. Branches, all of them. Especially the three major Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, is branches of African spirituality. But because we don't know that, we prefer to just stuck with the branch and don't go to the root. But a people without a knowledge of them roots is like, or people without a knowledge of them history is like a tree without root. And that is really what happen. We're upon a tree where is a limb where I work for and a leaf them. If you go to find the root, may I tell you, you just stand firm. Because that is what make the tree firm. But when we come and say certain things, it's like it go through one ear and come through the other, because the activities of the time is much more than what we can offer. And we offer 4-hour panel program here. But consider what will happen after me come off of the program until the next program next week. Consider what will happen. The influence and the counteraction. Not like somebody deliberately tell you, say, don't do that or don't remember that. But how the system is set up now, it don't allow you sometimes for really experience what you did here 1 week before. Because there's so much things that happen in front of you. So much things. You see more than you hear. And what you see is much more than what you can hear. And it influences you much more. So when you have the computer and the TV and the advertisement them and your friend them round you, we are click upon the same European mentality. 4 hours seem like a little drop in the bucket, and those who can rise above it, we give thanks for that. We give thanks for that. And this is a day where we tell the people them about, we make the people them aware. And when it came to the effect, them take it off of the calendar. And now we say them put it back. And we're glad for that them put it back. And within this celebration of this momentous moment in time, in history, them use all sort of little things to make it dribble down to nothing, water it down to the point of extinction. Extinction is like them a water it down to the point of extinction that we have to come raise it up back and say, look here man, we're not allowed now to carry it to that level there. Again, it have to be indelible in the consciousness of the people that some people did fight. Man like Sam Sharp, say he would have rather dead upon the gallows than live as a slave. Sam Sharp, Montego Bay, St. James. Sam Sharp was one of the reasons why them did have to rethink the whole thing. Yes, Sam Sharp, one of the reasons why them would have to go out and say, why we have to rethink the slavery thing, I know. You know, see, because the thing I get away down at Jamaica there, it I get away. Rebellions all over Taki. Burn down from St. Mary, go way to Westmoreland. Nani. A Kompong. Kojo. Kwako. I mean, really, Bookman, all them people there, fight and die upon the gallows, yonder gallows. For we come here to know, come reverse it. Terrible. This is the cutting edge. Some sharp words. I'm rather dig him grave than lock behind closed doors, man. I'd rather die on yonder hill than live as a slave in a third world VN. For those of you who don't hear yet or don't know, but brethren where used to play them song, the percussionist, Erwin Jarrett, passed away Tuesday. Yesterday, yes. And whole heap we feel it. Yeah, whole heap we feel it. You know, they have a program on the next radio station. And it was a very popular program as it relates to health and fitness. Well, in passed away yesterday I was, not Tuesday? Yes. And then there's a next brethren that passed away named Neville Lee from Sonic Sounds. No, only you don't know who we are talking about, but it's part of the musical landscape of Jamaica. You know, we just have so many of these passing aways taking place. I don't know how death decide who to take. Sunday we was at Boone Hall celebrating the life of Ayata, Mama Ayata. Not a musician in her right, but a Rastafari sister who is very close to the musical fraternity. Her daughter is very big into it. As a matter of fact, her daughter conceptualized Reggae Day, July the 1st. Reggae Day. Her daughter conceptualized that over the years. Well, she passed away and was buried. Well, Sunday we was at the memorial, the tribute. I think it's Monday, them carry her to 9 Mile and bury her. And then as we have come out of that, we hear about Carrot. And then we hear about Neville Lee. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about Susan Couch, sister who passed away also. May I tell you, it's no passing away going, man. No passing away. Here today, gone tomorrow. But some shock you more than some, you know. It's not that you don't love the ones them on a level, but when you hear certain ones die, you know, it's a simple thing, you know. It's a simple thing. Plane crash, kill 200 people. And you say, royalty, there's too much people dead, but make one of your family upon it. It's like that, and 199 don't make no difference more than your family. Well, sometimes you hear of death, you know, and you really feel sad, but when you hear of certain ones dying, may I tell you, man, that space that it leave inside of your bowels, man, it make you feel empty. And sometimes it's just for a moment, you know, or maybe even a day, or maybe a week, but you know, so it must go away, you know. But like most things, we must go away. It leave a certain feeling in your guts because you know the person personally. You know, you see the tradition of the person over the years. And then when that person passed, man, may I tell you, man, it's a thing. We want to yell up Alicia Jarrett, who was his wife, and we want to tell her herself it was hold strong, you know. Yes, it was strong. That is a road where all of them must go down. No matter where one wants to say, no matter where one wants to say, everyone away must go down the road there. Everyone away. Third world, great group. We can remember that Bunny Ruggs was the lead singer for years, and him also passed away. Well, no, Carrot, the percussionist. Seeing the third world VN. For those of you who don't hear yet or don't know, but brethren where used to play them song, the percussionist, Irwin Jarrett, passed away Tuesday, yesterday, yes. And a whole heap of we feel it. Yeah, a whole heap of we feel it. You know, they have a program on the next radio station. And it was a very popular program as it relates to health and fitness. Well, in passed away, yesterday, not Tuesday, yes. And then there's a next brethren that passed away named Neville Lee from Sonic Sounds. No, only you don't know who we are talking about, but it's part of the musical landscape of Jamaica. You know, we just have so many of these passing aways taking place. I don't know how death decide who to take. Sunday we was at Boone Hall celebrating the life of Ayata, Mama Ayata. Not a musician in her right, but a Rastafari sister who's very close to the musical fraternity. Her daughter is very big into it. As a matter of fact, our daughter conceptualized Reggae Day, July the 1st. Reggae Day. Our daughter conceptualized that over the years. Well, she passed away and was buried. Well, Sunday we was at the memorial, the tribute. I think it's Monday, them carry her to 9 Mile and bury her. And then as we have come out of that, we hear about Carrot. And then we hear about Neville Lee. You know, a couple weeks ago we was talking about Susan Couch, sister who passed away also. May I tell you, it's no passing away going, man. No passing away. Here today, gone tomorrow. But some shock you more than some, you know. It's not that you don't love the ones them on a level, but when you hear certain ones die, you know, it's a simple thing, you know. It's a simple thing. Plane crash, kill 200 people. And you say, right, there's too much people dead, but make one of your family upon it. It's like that, and 199 don't make no difference more than your family. Well, sometimes you hear of death, you know, and you really feel sad, but when you hear of certain ones dying, may I tell you, man, that space that it leave inside of your bowels, man, it make you feel empty. And sometimes it's just for a moment, you know, or maybe even a day, or maybe a week, but you know, so it must go away, you know. But like most things, we must go away. It leave a certain feeling in your guts, because you know the person personally. You know, you see the tradition of the person over the years. And then when that person passed, man, may I tell you, man, there's a thing. We want to yell up Alicia Jarrett, who was his wife. And we want to tell her herself it was hold strong, you know. Yes, it was strong. That is a road where all of them must go down. No matter where one wants to say. Everyone away must go down the road there. Everyone away. Third world, great group. We can remember that Bunny Ruggs was the lead singer for years, and him also passed away. Well, no, Carrot, the percussionist. Yeah, Paul Bogle, the Morant Bay Rebellion, 1865. The brethren them say 96 degrees in the shade, real hot in the shade. You know, these people who pass away, we are talking about Paul Bogle and Nani and them people who pass away. If we don't understand the struggle that them go through, if we make a day come name Emancipation Day, we last. Yeah, man, we last, man. Why is it important to remember these things? Because the past have a direct relationship with the present. Direct relationship with the present, the past. So we can't throw the past and say, gone already, therefore, move on. It's moving on. But in order to get a stable consciousness and a stable mind, we have to understand where we're coming from to know where we're supposed to go and why we are where we are today. Simple. Don't take no NASA scientists to understand what we are saying. You know, don't take that. We want to tell you, I'm going to tell you before, that we're going to come out of the lessons here where we are going with from 10 into the party vibe. You know, when you have school, you have to have fit. And we're going to give you the nostalgic vibes, retro style. That is where we're good at. When we play, we love to play retro. We are talking about 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You understand? We stop at the 90s because 2000, we're not going to recognize 2000 music as retro music, even though we have people who play 2000 music and say retro. But we are talking about things where 25 years and over. And that we are talking about 25 years and over. So we're going to line up the computer and say, yes, that from now till 2, and music. So it's not gone, we're gone, you know. It's because we want you hear and feel and party out the music we have a play, you understand? It's not gone, we're gone. So if you don't hear we, say a half hour or an hour or so, we'll just make the music blaze out, you understand? Why you let my brother lecture from long a Montego Bay, you know? Yeah, why you yell him up? Me like how you use your WhatsApp. I like we are trying to use Instagram now. You know, we are telling us that you have some youth on Instagram there. Trust me, man, them frivolous is that sin. For the Instagram thing, they're frivolous like frivolous. But you know, by any means necessary, anything we have at our disposal to push certain forward, certain consciousness and thinking, we have to use it. And right now, what them call it, the networking and the computer is a way. So you have people on Facebook, people on Instagram, people on WhatsApp. I find say the Instagram is a frivolous young people thing. Sad to say it, but it's like a frivolous young people thing where you post certain things and you say, all right, I'm going to do something else now. And when you go so bam, you see it all reach all 3,000 in a less than 2 hours. You see 3,000 views, and then you say, all right, I can try this thing and I can see where I got me. I go so bam and post the next thing. 500 views in 4 days, 5 days. And then you say, all right, we can put somewhere, because you're going to react to this now, the comments. And when you look at the comment, on the little frivolous things there, man, may I tell you, you put something of value Some people are say, I don't believe says Muta post that. But we post certain things to get reaction. Because we want to understand the pulse of the youth them for certain levels. You know, and when we see the reaction, man, may I tell you, it's a far away we have to go. Far away we have to go, man. Anyway, cutting edge, the time is 12 o'clock.